Alright, in this video, I'm going to compare the Xiaomi Redmi Note 11S versus Tecno Pova 5G. Across board, both smartphones have 8 gigs of RAM and 120 gigs of internal storage with a price tag of $270. The Note 11S is powered by MediaTek Helio G96 chipset, which somehow limited the performance of the smartphone. Tecno Pova 5G, on the other hand, is powered by the MediaTek Dimensity 900 5G chipset. Aside from it being 5G enabled, it has faster RAM and faster storage technology. At this point, I just have to make sure every background applications are cleared before we begin with the speed test comparison. To begin with, we'll start with the Antutu benchmark. Now, this score is insane. The Tecno Pova 5G aced the Redmi Note 11S. It almost doubles the figures, beginning with the overall scores. And if you break it down to the different segments, from the CPU to the GPU and to memory scores, the Tecno Pova 5G is far ahead in all ramifications. Now, the implication of this is that it will help Pova 5G to be the best gaming smartphone you can get out of these two. And also, in terms of surfing the internet, it is also faster. Additionally, GameBench gave similar representation. Now, when I tested these two on the GameBench, run GameBench on these two smartphones, both on the multi-core and the single-core scores, the Tecno Pova 5G was superior to the Redmi Note 11S, which I'm not surprised at because the MediaTek Dimensity 900 5G chipset is a powerful mid-range SoC, more powerful and more advanced than the Helio G96 on the Xiaomi Redmi Note 11S. Next, I'm going to export a 1-minute video in 4K resolution on both devices. So I'm going to open the InShot application. Now when I open the InShot application, I'm going to upload the two videos on these two smartphones, 1-minute video each, and it is 4K resolution. And I'm going to try to export it and render it in 4K resolution. From observation, it was a sweet pill, more like a sweet pill for the Tecno Pova 5G to swallow. It processed the 4K video in less than 2 seconds. And then when I tried to render it, I made sure I did so in 4K resolution, the highest resolution. And then it took about 29 seconds to render the 4K video from 0 to 100. Meanwhile, the Xiaomi Redmi Note 11S was still struggling. It was struggling to process the 4K video. From observation, in most cases, it compresses the 4K video into 1080p before it was able to render the video. So that is one challenge or one limitation that the Redmi Note 11S had, and that's because of the chipset, the Helio G96 chipset. Like I mentioned earlier, that chipset sort of limited some features on the smartphone. So now let's head to that speed test. Now notice on Play Store, the Tecno Pova 5G opened the Play Store before the Redmi Note 11S. Now let's test Chrome. On Chrome, the Pova 5G was also ahead. And when I tried to open a website, Tech Arena 24 website, I noticed that the Pova 5G was faster as well. It opened the page first and also loaded all the necessary details on the blog, both the ad and the post. It did so ahead of the Redmi Note 11S. Well, let's open Instagram. On Instagram, the Tecno Pova 5G opened first, but the Redmi Note 11S, I'll give this particular one to the Redmi Note 11S. It didn't just open first, it also loaded every single details before the Tecno Pova 5G. And then you also see the difference between the two screens. You see that the Redmi Note 11S with AMOLED screen is more colorful than the IPS LCD on the Tecno Pova 5G. Now let's go to YouTube. Now YouTube, the Tecno Pova 5G loaded fast, loaded all details, while the Redmi Note 11S was still somehow behind the Tecno Pova 5G. So far, the Tecno Pova 5G has been ahead of the Redmi Note 11S. Next is settings. Even on the setting, which is the default application on the smartphone, the Tecno Pova 5G opened it faster than the Redmi Note 11S. Twitter, the Pova 5G was also faster. It loaded faster, and you can see that the Binance ad on the Twitter page was already playing on Pova 5G, while it was yet to get fully loaded on the Redmi Note 11S. Now next, let's get to camera. Now camera is the default setting, and I'm not surprised that the UI, this thing matters. In most cases, I've noticed that the Redmi Note 11S is always faster, just as this video presented. So far, the Pova 5G has been the first position. It has opened many applications way before the Redmi Note 11S did on some applications. Now, what I'm going to do now is to check the memory RAM or the memory RAM management. So far, which of these two has been able to keep up with the previous application that I'll be opening? So let's start with Redmi Note 11S. The Antutu benchmark, I noticed that it was still very open on both smartphones. Both smartphones kept the Antutu benchmark in the memory. Then next is GameBench. Now GameBench, the Redmi Note 11S closed the GameBench, but the Tecno Pova 5G retained the GameBench on the memory. Now let's get to the InShot application that I used to render the video, the 4K video. Okay, the Redmi Note 11S retained the memory, and same thing with the Tecno Pova 5G. Both retained the InShot application in the memory. Then next, the Play Store. Let's see which of these two retained the Play Store. Okay, both also retained the Play Store application. And then Chrome. Both also retained the Chrome application. But so far, the Tecno Pova 5G has retained more applications on the memory when compared to that of the Redmi Note 11S. Then on Instagram, both also retain the Instagram application, the memory. Remember, both smartphones have 8 GB of RAMs. Okay, both also retained the YouTube application. And settings, the Redmi Note 11S closed the settings. It had to reload the settings again, while the Pova 5G maintained or retained it on the memory. Both also open the Twitter and camera. Let's get to camera. Okay, both of these smartphones closed the camera application. But so far on RAM management, the Tecno Pova 5G was also better in RAM management. Now, the essence of this video is to tell that when it comes to performance and speed test, the Tecno Pova 5G is more superior, and I'm not surprised. That's because it had faster RAM speed and faster storage technology. The software of these two smartphones, I'll give it to Xiaomi Redmi Note 11S. When it comes to software animation, the Redmi Note 11S is better than that of the iOS 8 on the Tecno Pova 5G. Aside from the software, when it comes to head-to-head sub in terms of RAM management and speed test and performance, the Tecno Pova 5G is the winner of this speed test, RAM management and performance comparison. Alright, remember to hit the subscribe button and turn on the post bell, and let me know your opinion in the comment section. Also, remember to watch the review video of these two smartphones in the description below. It's my HD here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you around in my next one.